Welcome back, everyone, for another episode of this Myteam career mode, and we are here for the Mexican Grand Prix. The standings are very tight. As you can see, the top three are just only got 14 points in it. So these next two races are going to be crucial for Verstappen, Sainz, and Leclerc, and maybe Lewis Hamilton if he could pull something out of the bag, but I doubt it. Anyway, let's go to the workstation. We got all the practice sessions. Going to get that out of the way. And look at that retirement announcement. Fernando Alonso has retired from the sport. I think that was already there in the last episode, but I'm not entirely sure. Got all these developments finally coming in. We lost our rivalry to Lance Stroll because he kick-started it off in Spain. He got P2 in qualifying, and he gained loads of points on me in the end from that. And look at that, there's a regulation change, and we got all of this, and I'm going to quickly adapt this part, the engine cover distribution, because that's rather annoying. It's the chassis department and the durability department are getting changed, and those are anyway, finishing all the practice sessions. Now we're going into qualifying here, the Mexican Grand Prix, or the whatever the hell that just said, I don't know. But it's a lovely day. It's not going to be raining, so that's good. But we are in a fight with Williams and Aston Martin, and we need to do well this race if we want to catch up and get as many points up in the constructors as possible, to get as much money as possible to help upgrade our facilities in the next coming season. But they get a little snap there of oversteer, and you can cut that corner a little bit and just forget that hump is over there. And this is my first time actually driving in Mexico on F122, and that's kind of surprising, to be honest, because I actually really liked this game when it was towards the end of F1 2021, and actually it's my first time driving since I came back from karting, and it was my first ever time karting, and I didn't realise how heavy everything was, and I came back to my wheel and it was just like, holy shit, why is this so light? And but yeah, it was great. I had loads of fun. It was a karting track here in Portugal. It's called Cartódromo Internacional de Palmela. So you can search that up as KIP, or you can search up Palmela Karts or something. You see, swiping across there actually gains you loads of time compared to the AI, because they have to go the long way around. But anyway, second run of qualifying, getting a little bit of time. I missed the apex there, but glide over that curve and gain time on the exit here. But yeah, it's actually alright. The car is feeling good. This qualifying, it's not feeling awful. The balance is okay, and we're already setting decent times. I messed up a little bit there. Went way too I think I went way too deep, or I think I did break, or I missed the apex even. But through this section, it was really sketchy. That inside curve, the AI always hopped over it. The AI always hopped over that curve in every lap of the race, and it was just like they're about to crash or something. But we're 2 temps up here into the last section, the stadium section. The 4 temps up. This last corner, we go wide a little bit. We're still 4 temps, 4.5 temps up, and that puts us P5. But then we can drop down to P8, and this is going to be our last run in qualifying, I think. Yeah, gaining time immediately into turn 1, braking later, but out of turn 1 we mess up and we lose loads of time. But we're still up a 10th though, so it's okay. We missed the apex there, and we hop over the curve here again. But we still gaining time because I kept the momentum on the outside of the track, but it's no biggie. There's no... Well, unless you guys want to complain about that, there you go. Through the swirly section, we go fastest, and we gain a little bit of time. We go fast to sector 2 with 3 temps up into the stadium section. What can we do from here? Still hanging around the 3 temp mark. Getting a little bit of time. Getting the exit there a little bit better, and the entry into that last corner. And we gain 3.7 temps, and we set a 17.1, and that's enough for P7. And that's really, really good qualifying. Not as good as Canada though. But yeah, that is a really good qualifying. And I'm really happy to see what we can do from this position. We were so close to Lando in P5 and George Russell and whatnot, and Leclerc. Only really a 10th in it between us 4. 3 even. Yeah, no, 4. But yeah, Daniel Ricciardo, very, very close. But look at the grid. The whole grid is within like 1 second-ish each other, not comparing Sergio Perez obviously on pole. But anyway, we're on to the intro.
Welcome to Mexico City, the most popular city in North America, and home, of course, to the Mexico City Grand Prix. It's a sellout crowd as usual here at one of the shortest circuits on the Formula One calendar. And who, I wonder, will they be cheering on the top step of today's podium? The Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, 2.6 miles of track that allows drivers to take full advantage of their cars, reaching speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour and providing lots of opportunities for overtaking. The circuit features 17 corners, 10 to the right and the remaining 7 going to the left. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. It's Sergio Perez on pole today, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Russell, the owner driver, and Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Ocon, and Valtteri Bottas. Norris, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Vettel, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Albon. Stroll, Mick Schumacher, Guan Yu Zhou, and Carlos Sainz. Tsunoda, Magnussen, they've taken a grid penalty. Latifi, and Oscar Piastri. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Look at that, with 2 grid penalties, Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton, we get up into P5, and what a start this is going to be for us. What a great qualifying this has actually turned out to be. Obviously getting a 2 freebie position, but look at that, Leclerc on the hard tyres, starting on the hard tyres. And I think Verstappen and Perez both also on the hard tyres. So this is a bold strategy compared to everyone else on the regular medium to hard strategy. And obviously I think that the hard to medium is way better because the tyre wear isn't even too bad around here. But anyone to the end of the formation lap, and I forget to warm my tyres. I was just driving around the formation lap getting very distracted. So just doing some last minute warm-ups, anything that I can get, to be honest, because I messed up on that formation lap. It defied the whole purpose of that formation lap, but that's okay. It's okay. It's just a virtual game. It doesn't really affect me too much, but we're going to park up to the grid slot now into P5, the P5 grid. We've done it into P1 before. But anyway, we go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and we go green here in Mexico as it's lights out, and away we go here in the Mexican Grand Prix. Sergio Perez gets off well. Verstappen is chasing Perez, and look at that, me making all moves already on Leclerc, as Leclerc had a very slow start. But look at that, Perez pushing Verstappen and George Russell to the outside of the track as them 3 tangle. I'm going to go around the outside of Verstappen and George Russell. George Russell's having a go at Sergio Perez. We go 3-1 into turn 2 and again into turn 3. But look at that, Perez is still ahead and George Russell has made a move on Verstappen also. But look at me, I'm side by side with George Russell. I'm slightly ahead of George Russell. Look at Perez as well, defending from George Russell. It's going to give me a little bit of an advantage and help me stay ahead of George Russell. And I stay ahead. And now I'm going to be battling Perez as I'm on the quicker, softer compound of tyre compared to him, and he's on the hard tyres. So I've got to keep my pace up from now on until the end of the race, really, or just overtake him as soon as possible, because track position is very vital. But look at Lando Norris in P11 and Lewis Hamilton P13. But it's okay, he's up into P10 now, Lando. But Perez is still mighty ahead, and he's 5 tenths ahead. And he's proven that the hard tyres aren't really too bad around this track when they get warmed up. If you warm them up properly, and once you get them warmed up, they're pretty good, clearly. But as you see there, Mick Schumacher going up, making a move on Kevin Magnussen on the inside of that corner there, while Carlos Sainz is all the way back of the grid as well, from a grid penalty, and that's not good for him. If Verstappen wins this race and Carlos Sainz scores no points, that is the championship winning. Verstappen wins the championship if Carlos Sainz scores no points. So this is an important, vital race for Carlos Sainz, and he really need to get the strategy correct to, make sure that he can actually gain some positions and get into the top 10, because he really needs to score points, because Verstappen is still, despite being in P5, in it for the win. And look at me, Perez ahead of me, still 5 tenths. George Russell is, I'm gaining on George Russell even. Perez is 5 tenths again ahead of me, but I'm quicker through this section than the Mexican driver, the home favourite. And I'm really up his gearbox here, but, I'm struggling to keep up. Despite, even though he's on the hards and I'm on the medium, I'm still really struggling to keep up. But it's not too bad, because P2 is still really, really great. Like P1, yeah, it would be absolutely incredible. But it's not really our battle, because, the Red Bull is way quicker than us. I mean, I'll take anything at this point. Anything in the top 10 would be great, considering our bad luck that we've had in the past few races. It was like 3 back-to-back DNFs or something crazy like that. And honestly, that's not okay. And we were forced to retire, really, with the amount of damage that we had. But onto lap 3. No DRS yet. It'll be activated at the end of this lap. But I'm getting ever so close to Sergio Perez, and I got on a few times where I was so close to overtaking him, but he just wouldn't let me through. And George Russell is still there, and Daniel Ricciardo is also there, and Verstappen may want to have a go at Daniel Ricciardo if he doesn't want to get held up too much, but it doesn't matter, because Daniel Ricciardo is ahead enough to be battling up here with us three, including me, George Russell, and that's green flags, but for what? Maybe back further in the grid, and that's Lando Norris. Lando Norris is going out. Oh my goodness, Lando Norris's engine's blown up, and despite getting back-to-back wins, it is not enough. The car is not enough, and it's blown up, and he's just gone straight into a wall. But that is unlucky. That's so unfortunate. And on lap 4 now, we have DRS on Sergio Perez, but we can't get close enough. We're using all our ERS, and we're not getting close enough to Perez to make a move. And George Russell is still there, and even with the DRS, he is just as quick as us. And I'm really struggling to find a way here, but here we go. Perez, a little bit slow on the exit, but that Red Bull was just insanely quick in the acceleration. And even with our DRS, we can't get through. We can't get past. We get very close here. We almost rear-end him there, because he's so slow through the braking zones for some reason. I really don't know why. Maybe he has an issue with his car? I don't know. The engineer hasn't told me anything about that. But yeah, we're getting close to him in the corners. I think because he's on the hards, possibly. And you see how the AIs, when they go over that curve, they have a little moment there, and they do it every lap. And I was so amazed at how none of them has spun through that. But yeah, on to lap 5. We're going to have the DRS on Perez. We're much closer than we were on last lap. And maybe we get an even better run at Perez here. And we're going to get DRS here. George Russell's also behind us. He's gaining so much time on that. And we're having to defend from George Russell and not even having a go at Perez. As George Russell pulls to the inside of me right now. And he's gonna get us. He's gonna get the move done on us. But look at him. He's just rear-ended Perez, and that's a bit of carbon fiber that's just barreled off into the air, into the grass. And that's George Russell with an end plate missing. That is George Russell with an end plate missing. And what was just for him an easy overtake on me, he's gone for a dive bomb on Perez, or just outbroke himself completely and used Perez as a human shield. And that's not good for the Mercedes driver if he wants to get up there, to keep up with us even. And now I'm still chasing Perez, but George Russell is doing me a right job of holding up Daniel Ricciardo, Verstappen and Leclerc, all these faster cars. That surely George Russell's going to have to pit with that damage. He's missing an end plate. And, I don't know if he can carry on with that. But we'll see. He's just limping his way around the track at the moment with half a front wing, basically. The end plate missing. But he's doing a really good job of holding out the Ricciardo and the rest of the pack. And obviously, that will let us, as in me and Perez, get away. And we're going to just be fighting in the world of our own. As you can see, Ricciardo going over that curve, he bottoms out and he kind of slides, does a little drift a little bit. But that's what I mean. And Daniel Ricciardo, I don't even know if he's going to get a run here. Yes, he is on the inside of George Russell. He's going to get the move done into the last section as George Russell kind of has a little moment. He goes too deep in the braking zone. And his race is going from okay, good in the podium positions to even worse. And let's have a look. Will George Russell pit now? He looks to line up a pit. Yes, he does. He comes into the pits. and that's interesting. He's going to have to go for a new wing, and what tyre is he going to put on? Because no way hards are going all the way to the end, so I'm assuming he's going to go into the softs or mediums again. But look at that, Leclerc now making a move on Max Verstappen, and that's not good for the championship battle. Carlos Sainz is already up into P12, but Leclerc is ahead of Verstappen as he goes slow through that corner, and Verstappen almost goes into the back of him. And look at that, look at the space between me and Ricciardo, 3.1 seconds, and thanks to George Russell, that gap exists. Daniel Ricciardo obviously in a quicker car, but look at Verstappen now losing time to Leclerc's, and he also has Pierre Gasly and Valtteri Bottas, including Sebastian Vettel as well, all in that little fight there because of George Russell holding them all up. They allowed all the little midfield cars to catch up, including Ocon, Lewis Hamilton, Sainz, not the midfield cars, but look at this side-by-side battle. Piastri and Latifi. Piastri cannot even get past Latifi. That is embarrassing. No disrespect to Latifi, but wow, Oscar Piastri is going to have a go at Latifi now into this next DRS zone. But will he get ahead? Let's have a look. Will he get ahead? Oscar Piastri is not proven that he's been very good he's worthy of that second Citroen seat. And you can see Oscar Piastri going around the outside of Latifi, and he gets the elbows out, and he gets the move done ever so slightly on Latifi as he was still ahead. But Oscar Piastri is the better line into this next section, into the stadium section, and he gets ahead. But look at that, me having a little look on Perez. Yeah, but as I was saying, I don't think Oscar Piastri is deserving of that second Citroen seat. But we'll see very shortly and soon who we sign for Citroen, and it is yet to be announced. It'll be in a pre-season video, which will come out tomorrow or possibly the day after, but as of latest 24th, so don't worry. And look at me, I'm getting even close to Perez. I'm 3 tenths within 2 tenths, just right there, right next to Perez. And look, watch how the AI goes over that curve. Like, he has a little drift there. I kind of just, this section is so much harder on these new cars compared to last game. But you see, I'm going to have DRS, and I'm going to make a mega dive bomb as I hop over the curb and go off the circuit. But I'm ahead of Sergio Perez. But, in the DRS zone, he's DRS, and look at him. He's just miles ahead. The pace on that Red Bull with the DRS is insane, especially down that straight. It's very, very powerful, as it's proven to the quicker cars, compared to us, where we have DRS and we're getting overtaken by other cars, even though we have DRS and ERS and whatnot. And so, it's not very powerful. But as you can see, Perez, without DRS, and we have the DRS, and we're going to make a move up on the inside. Will he give us room? Yes, he does. And we are ahead back into P1, and this is really good for us. The track position, as I'm going to have DRS again for this next zone. And hopefully now we just need to keep it on the track and just stay ahead of Perez. And now Perez is behind me 8 tenths onto the straight. Is it going to be enough to defend from Perez with the DRS and ERS? And before we even reach the DRS line, he's 5 tenths within us. And with the DRS, I pull to the right, defend on the inside. He's gone to the left. He overtakes me even before the braking zone. And Perez is regaining that P1. And, he really wants to be the home hero here in Mexico, as he also got pole position. Maybe going towards that, Carlos Sainz still in P12. And, this is not good for Carlos Sainz. But here we are, back again. And I'm going to have the DRS on Perez. Is it enough? Slightly running out of ERS there, only in single digits. As my lights are flashing, Perez has still got loads. I'm going to have a little look. I'm too far back. For Perez. But it's okay, we're going to have a run at Perez in this next section, this next DRX zone. But is it going to be enough? Are we going to have enough DRS and ERS to make a move on Perez? He looks very quick on the exit, and the acceleration of that Red Bull is not a match for us with DRS or ERS, and my tyres are already beginning to fall off slightly. And Perez's tyres are getting warmed up a little bit, maybe getting in the place where they're getting a bit worn in, they're getting a bit better. But now Perez 6 tenths, even with my DRS still and ERS, I'm trying everything to try and get to Perez, but it's not enough. And now Fernando Alonso, look at Sebastian Vettel as he looks up. Fernando Alonso is ahead of Sebastian Vettel. They're very similar when it comes to careers. And, Sebastian Vettel having a little bit more of a illustrious career. And obviously retiring at the end of the season is Fernando Alonso. And look at that, Fernando Alonso already making a move on Valtteri Bottas. And obviously Sebastian Vettel there having to have been a roadblock. And look at that, Oscar Piastri getting overtaken by George Russell. George Russell went on the softs with that early pit stop. So he's been on the softs and he hasn't made too many moves. So I'm assuming he was last, and he's made a move on Nicholas Latifi and Zhou Guanyu, two very slow cars. But back onto the fight between me and Perez is lap 13, and I'm still very, very far away from Perez, and I don't even know if it is enough, if our car is enough to keep up with Perez throughout these next few laps. And you see, as he's having his little moments, maybe his hard tyre is not doing too well, as now we are close enough in the DRS zone to make a lunge, as we do, and we get the car braked in much better than last time, and we are ahead back into P1. I let him go through ahead because I want the DRS into this next the start-finish straight. But this was a bit stupid. This is a bit stupid because I have no ERS, and honestly, I'm not going to catch him with a DRS because we've seen it before. And you can see Perez stays ahead on the top left, and Fernando Alonso now on Pierre Gasly. He's creeping up on that rear diffuser of that AlphaTauri, and he does. He goes on the right-hand side of Pierre Gasly. But is it enough? It is enough. Before the braking zone, he is fully ahead. He gets the car braked in, no lockups, nothing, no mistakes. And Fernando Alonso is ahead of Pierre Gasly, and that's... Again, Pierre Gasly showing consistently in the top 10, and now we're lap 16 and we're pitting for hard tyres, no safety cars this race, and we're hoping to not be any safety cars. Going to get optimal turn in here, and hopefully no pit mistakes. It looks all good, and it's a 2.3 stop, and we're out, and we're ahead of. We're going to come out ahead of we're going to come out behind Yuki Tsunoda, but it doesn't matter too much. He's not enough fight. We're really fighting Ricciardo, and we need to just make the most of our outlap because there's going to be a few people that are going to be pitting this lap. As you can see, all these runners here: Esteban Ocon, Vettel, Mick Schumacher, Tsunoda. But look at that, Carlos Sainz in P4. He hasn't pitted yet. I don't think. And he's in P4. Wow, and I'm still in P5 here. And Daniel Ricciardo come up 3.4 seconds ahead, so he must have had a slow stop. And Oscar Piastri going in for his pit stop. He'll be going onto the hards just like the rest of the field, except Leclerc, Sainz, Verstappen and Perez or anything. All started on the hards, but everyone else started on mediums. So they'll be coming in a little bit later. As you can see, lap 21 now, Verstappen coming into the pits. Perez staying out, and Leclerc, you see Verstappen getting held up in the pit there by Leclerc, and Leclerc had a decent stop, same with Verstappen, but Verstappen got held up on the pit exit, but it's okay because Verstappen is still coming out ahead, miles ahead, and I come out ahead of Verstappen and Leclerc, but they're both on medium, so they will definitely catch up to us at some point. I'm just really hoping that our tyres get to the warming point, the good point, where their performance is at its best before when the mediums start to drop off in grip. And no, Perez is ahead of us, and this is not what we needed. We needed to undercut Perez, but no, it is proven that the hardest medium strategy was better, and he will obviously pull away at miles because he's got the medium tires. He's gonna, when they're warmed up, he's gonna pull away miles. And Verstappen within one lap is already on my tail. He is 2 tenths, and he's got the DRS. I pull to the inside to defend, and we are absolutely useless. We cannot do anything to defend against him, and now we've got to focus our attention onto Charles Leclerc as he is making a move, or he's getting pressurized by Daniel Ricciardo, and Leclerc goes deep, and Ricciardo is side by side with Charles Leclerc here, and he almost got in front of the Monegasque there, but the Aussie man, the Daniel Ricciardo, couldn't get ahead now, but now Carlos Sainz in P8 legitimately after making his pit stop. Wow, what a drive from Carlos Sainz this has been. And now making a move on Lewis Hamilton immediately after pitting. But look at this. Wow, what a drive from Carlos Sainz that has been so far. And he goes a little bit deep, which invited Lewis Hamilton a little bit, but it wasn't enough. Carlos Sainz in the quicker compound is ahead of Lewis Hamilton. But turning the attention now to Charles Leclerc as he is lining up a move on lap 28 on 36 on me. As also Fernando Alonso got on past Ricciardo. But now Leclerc is ahead of me, and wow, that's a big rip. Then there's no more podium chance for us because we're not going to keep up with Leclerc. He's on the mediums. But it is what it is. P4 for now is really great as long as Fernando Alonso doesn't catch up to us. It's within a few laps. He's just 7 seconds behind us. But anything can happen in these next few laps. You know, Leclerc's engine could blow up just like real life, and we could still get a podium. You never know what's going to happen. But Verstappen has a big Sergio Perez has a big lead to Verstappen. So that's Verstappen that needs to climb up to P1 really to keep his championship hopes at a big, a big high. Keep his championship hopes high. Finishing P1 would be obviously better than P2 for him, and obviously Carlos Sainz is still in the points, so is in the points, and see that transition there to lap 29, and Leclerc is too far ahead, and now really it's just a lonely drive, I'm going to assume. And Verstappen needs to get P1, but Carlos Sainz has done enough. Carlos Sainz has done enough to get to stay in the championship contention, to stay in it. He's done enough, but lap 31, nothing really is happening as we have a big snap and we get a massive save there. Now lap 32, George Russell making a move, obviously with his poor start, and he had to pit really early. He was a bit slow there on the straight, and Kevin Magnussen stays ahead of George Russell for another lap as there is yellow flags, and that's Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo's retired. How's he done that? Oh, and he's gone slowly into turn 1, and Carlos Sainz is trying to overtake him as they make contact. Carlos Sainz Daniel Ricciardo hops over the curb as he's retiring, and that is so unfortunate for the McLaren driver of Daniel Ricciardo because he was in such a good position. But now George Russell making a move on the outside of Kevin Magnussen into the stadium section. Is Kevin Magnussen going to fight this one? He is trying to, but George Russell got the better line on the inside there, and he is ahead of Magnussen. He's done light work of him, and now he's got Alex Albon to chase to get their P12. Obviously no points, so it doesn't really matter, but here we go. George Russell and Alex Albon. Albon defending incredibly well, not just for this race, for George Russell as well, and he's done so well in that Williams car. He's done amazing this whole season. He's dragged that Williams car into decent positions. He's obviously got a pole position in that car, and he's gone loads of really good places. He's got loads of points for Williams single-handedly, but now it's just no match on the straights. And he has Kevin Magnussen on his tail. And unfortunately, I think Kevin Magnussen is going to overtake Alex Albon here. That Haas car is very quick down the straights. But there we go. Kevin Magnussen overtaking Alex Albon. And Albon really couldn't fight that one. As Kevin Magnussen makes a little mistake there of going over the curve. And he breaks mid-corner a little bit. And Alex Albon's still not close enough. But onto the lap 35 now. Max Verstappen making a move on Sergio Perez as he has the back markers in front of him. But look at Max Verstappen, he's finally making the move. Where's Carlos Sainz? Carlos Sainz is 6th. But this is really good for Verstappen now because he's getting the maximum points to stay ahead in the championship contention. Maybe that was Red Bull orders. We don't know. We don't know if that was team orders. But Verstappen is now in P1, lap 35, 36. Perez is not happy though. This is his home race. He's not going to give it up as Latifi there moving out of the way. And this is double DNF for McLaren after having such 2 good races, back-to-back wins, obviously for Lando Norris. And getting struck back to reality as they go past Guan Yu Zhou there, and Verstappen is ahead of Sergio Perez into the last lap, and this is one of our final 2 laps that has been so far, and we haven't even got to the final lap. Obviously, Perez is still gonna have DRS into the start-finish straight, so he could still have a go at Verstappen into the last lap. And Verstappen was a little bit slow for the stadium section. Perez was a little bit better, and obviously Perez with the home crowd cheering him on. Can he do enough to get back that P1 position from Max Verstappen, his teammate here in Mexico? Sorry, he's going to have the DRS. Probably he's not even using ERS. As you can see from the steering wheel, Verstappen's using all of it. And that's it for Perez. That's Perez's P1 gone. Perez's P1 gone. He couldn't get past him. He couldn't defend as well as he did against me. And, wow, fair enough for Verstappen. Good drive from him. And that's most likely P1. But here we go. It's not over yet. It's not the end of the lap. We don't know what's going to happen. Anything could happen in this last lap. This is Formula 1, you know. Anything can happen. But here we go. Perez is still closing in on Verstappen ever so slightly. And he's still there. He's still there on his teammate. But his teammate's just too quick. You can see making a little drift there. But I think this is going to be a win for Max Verstappen. And obviously the championship isn't decided yet, as we still have a race. But currently it looks like it's going to go the way of Max Verstappen, the championship. But anyway, the thing that is going to go underway for Max Verstappen is this win for... the way is this win. And that is his fourth, I think, win of the season here in Mexico. And he has now firmly got one hand on that championship trophy. But Carlos Sainz is still, he still wants that trophy because he's still there. He's still in the contention for it. He's not far off. He's also got like a finger maybe on the championship trophy. And as we come home for our P4 position, and that is an incredible result for Citroën, as that propels us even closer to Williams and Aston Martin in the constructors, and obviously they'll guarantee us more money if we can beat them in Abu Dhabi. In points and get ahead of them, which will obviously then get us way more money. That's a win for Red Bull, 1-2, Verstappen winning it. You can celebrate that. That's a great drive. He was in P5 quite a bit of the race, and Leclerc rounds off the top three, and that could have been me. That could have been me in P3, but our car's not great. It's not great, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Points are still points, and Red Bull win, and Verstappen win. And I think that's the Constructors won by Red Bull. I think that has been decided. I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to have a look what the Constructors is looking like, but I think it's going to go the way of Red Bull, and maybe the championship trophy also going to go the way of Red Bull, and the way of Verstappen. But we will have to find out in the next episode, which will be the season finale, and we will have a close watch between Carlos Sainz and Verstappen in the next race to see what goes on. Anything can happen. If Verstappen retires, it's over. It is over. He just needs to score any sort of points, and he's won. But Carlos Sainz did a really great drive. He's also got driver of the day as he went from P18 to P6. Wow, it's a really good drive, and he has still done really well to keep the championship hopes alive, and that's a great result for us. 12 points there for the Constructors as we get P4, Fernando Alonso P5, Carlos Sainz P6, Lewis Hamilton P7, and Esteban Ocon P8, Pierre Gasly P9, and Sebastian Vettel P10, and that rounds off the top 10. Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris, the two drivers at DNF, and that's really unfortunate. Both of them will look at Piastri with P18, and that's really good for him, I guess. I don't know, but it's still not convincing enough to get me to re-sign him. He is going to be gone. Hashtag Piastri out. Said by Footy Madalan in the Discord. Big up to him. We're gonna do all of these events as they're all positive. They all gain good stuff. There's no negatives. Maybe just reducing a little bit of cash, but 5k it's not really a biggie. And we're gonna have some R&D points to spend, and we're gonna just spend it. Adapting the parts, because otherwise we'll just lose all our progress. And it's not even too much of a progress. We just need to do the major parts, and honestly, that's really about it. And then we've got some more major parts that we are going to have to upgrade after Abu Dhabi for the start of the next season. A part in the chassis, a part in the aerodynamics and whatnot. But there we go, Red Bull. Oh, no. Red Bull is 2 points ahead of Ferrari and the Constructors. So it's not over yet, but there you go. Adapting this major part, and there's also a major part right next to it that I need to buy. And look at this. Sebastian Vettel is retiring at the end of the season alongside Fernando Alonso. Wow. That's quite surprising. I thought he'd carry on. But no, that's really sad. Both legends of the sport retiring. And we got a department event here, a chassis one, and we're going to let the department lead. Oh no, trust department lead or whatever that is. Hopefully that gives us some good benefits. Anyway, we have the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix up next, and I'll see you guys very shortly. for this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and it should be out tomorrow, the Season 1 finale, and that will be an action-packed race, I'm sure of it. But anyway, guys, I will see you for that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys very shortly for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.